People now, new developments in the case where the woman was allegedly attacked at a resort in the Dominican Republic.
In a new interview, Madonna opens up about her experience working with disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein.
Plus, Carrie Underwood, Dan and Shay, and more of your favorite country stars light up the night at the CMT Awards.
A text is not going to do. You must RSVP.
Cheryl Burke hilariously calls out wedding guests for untimely RSVPs. We've got the video.
Also,
you should taste my sweet potato pie, and then you'd know for sure.
Carrie Preston tells us what to expect in the season 3 premiere of Claws.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Good to see you. How are you feeling?
Almost at the end of the week. Very excited.
And by the way, wedding season is officially here. Dancing with the Stars pro Cheryl Burke is taking fans behind the scenes of her own wedding planning with her IGTV segment, Wifey Wednesdays. This Wednesday, she's got a message for people who didn't RSVP to her wedding in a timely manner.
She's cheeky about this. She's having a good time. We'll have more on that in a bit. But first, we want to know, what is the most stressful part of wedding planning, in your opinion? Is it putting together the guest list? Is it dress shopping? Is it keeping the families happy? Or is it staying within the budget? All sounds very stressful to me right now. Vote in our People poll or tweet us your answer with the hashtag #PeopleNow.
The guest list, to me, is definitely, well, we can discuss.
Keeping the families happy, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I have a rowdy family.
He was satisfied and then happy and then not too far in this direction. Yeah.
Yeah, at least you're past that.
Yeah.
I have something to look forward to.
We'll check in on those results in a little bit, but for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. Marcia Cross revealed on CBS this morning, Wednesday, that doctors suspect her anal cancer may have come from the same strain of HPV or human papillomavirus that caused her husband, Tom Mahoney's, throat cancer. He went through grueling treatment back in 2009 and went into remission. Cross was diagnosed and began treatment for her cancer in 2018. Now in remission herself, Cross is doing anything she can to promote early prevention against HPV, which is a sexually transmitted disease, including encouraging people to get the HPV vaccine. With early immunization, kids can start receiving the HPV vaccine at age 9. Cross and Mahoney's twin 12-year-old daughters, Savannah and Eden, will get their first shot in a few weeks. Now, according to the CDC, HPV causes more than 90% of anal cancers and can be spread through sex or just by skin-to-skin contact. Cross decided to speak openly about her experience with anal cancer so others will be less embarrassed about the disease and about getting rectal exams, which she says saved her life. She admits that she was embarrassed too at first, even had trouble saying the words. Now she's able to joke about it. She tells CBS this morning, she was saying, quote, anus, 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 you just have to get used to it. Cross leaned on her friends and her family for support during this treatment. She adds that she kept saying at the time, if this doesn't kill me, it's like the best thing that could have ever happened, because the experience of being loved like that, it blew my mind. That was her quote. Now, Cross says that she is now doing great. A year and a half after her diagnosis, she's feeling back to normal, though it's a new normal these days for her. Nearly a week after Tammy Lawrence Daly came forward with claims that she was brutally attacked at the Majestic Elegance in the Dominican Republic, the all-inclusive resort is finally addressing the January 29th incident. In a statement shared to their official Twitter account Wednesday afternoon, the resort refutes Lawrence Daly's previous claims that authorities and hotel staff had mishandled the case. The hotel argues that in the wake of the alleged attack, Lawrence Daly requested $2.2 million in compensation, and when she did not receive a positive response, she, quote, disclosed her version of the case 4 months after it happened. Lawrence Daly did not immediately respond to People's request for comment. Now, according to Majestic Elegance's statement, when Lawrence Daly went missing, they rigorously implemented their security protocol for cases of a guest in trouble. The statement continues by saying, quote, according to her testimony, she was intercepted by a stranger shortly after 11 o'clock at night, but Mr. Daly reported her disappearance at 2:30 in the morning, and in a few minutes, a search operation began all throughout the property. She was found at 6:40 in the morning at a restricted area of the hotel. She showed bruises on her face and had a broken fingernail without presenting any other signs of violence on her body, and still being in possession of her purse, cell phones, and other belongings. That was their statement. Photos of Lawrence Daly in the hospital showed her eyes swollen shut and her face bloodied and bruised. We do have to warn you, these photos are graphic and disturbing. In an interview with People on May 30th, Lawrence Daly also said that she had suffered scratch marks from being dragged down a flight of concrete stairs, as well as what she called damage down there from a possible sexual assault. Majestic Elegance claims employees went out of their way to provide assistance and ensure that her needs were met, including a hotel staff member staying at the hospital with her and her husband, paying for hospital expenses, special meals prepared when she had difficulty eating solid foods, arranging travel accommodations for when they left the hotel. And they also add, during this period, a delegate from the United States Embassy visited Mrs. Lawrence Daly to understand the situation. She refused to present any legal accusations despite the recommendations of the local authorities. In her interview with People, Lawrence Daly claimed the hotel did not cover her medical expenses once she returned home. She also said that the evidence she provided, including the dress that she wore the evening of her alleged attack, was lost by authorities, and the crime scene was not properly roped off, which she believes interfered with that investigation. Now, the hotel claims contradictions in Lawrence Daly's story cast doubts on her testimony. The investigation remains ongoing, and Majestic Elegance said it continues to cooperate with local authorities. We'll keep you posted on that story. A man has been charged with domestic assault after his wife of 2 weeks was found dead in a parking garage in St. Louis, Missouri on Sunday morning. This is a tough story. Bradley and Alyssa Jenkins attended a Cardinals game together at Busch Stadium Saturday night. According to a probable cause affidavit obtained by People, police responded to a 911 call alerting them that a woman had fallen from the stadium's parking garage. Police say when officers arrived, Bradley was straddling Alyssa's body, covered in blood, and appeared to be agitated and intoxicated. The affidavit also states that according to footage from Alyssa's cell phone, which was found on the floor above where her body was located, you can hear Alyssa yelling for Bradley to quit punching her face. The camera then drops, and you hear her scream before hearing the sound of her body hitting the ground. Authorities are alleging that Bradley told officers what they call several lies about what had happened, saying he claimed that he was not on the rooftop with her and that the argument never became physical. The affidavit says the recorded cell phone video shows otherwise. Now, authorities are still investigating whether Bradley will be charged with homicide. He's currently being held on $100,000 bond, cash only. As of Showtime, Bradley's lawyer did not immediately respond to People's request for comment. The couple were engaged in October of 2018. They married in Las Vegas on May 22nd. Alyssa recently shared pictures of their wedding day on Instagram, captioning a photo with, "I married my best friend." What a heartbreaking story. All right, in an interview with the New York Times Magazine published Wednesday, Madonna opens up about her experience working with disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. The 60-year-old worked with Weinstein's company Miramax for her 1991 documentary, Truth or Dare. She tells the magazine, quote, "Harvey crossed lines and boundaries and was incredibly sexually flirtatious and forward with me when we were working together. He was married at the time, and I certainly wasn't interested." That's her quote. She adds that she was aware of his reputation, but his behavior was always shrugged off because, as she puts it, quote, "He's got so much power and he's so successful and his movies do so well." The singer goes on to say that when the sexual assault allegations came out against Weinstein, she was like, "Finally," and added that she wasn't cheering for his demise because she doesn't think that's good karma, but she believes it's good that he's being held accountable. Madonna joins a list of more than 100 other women, including Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie, and Ashley Judd, who have come forward with misconduct or sexual assault allegations against Weinstein. Weinstein has previously denied all allegations. In May, he reached a tentative $44 million agreement for a pending civil rights lawsuit, which would compensate numerous plaintiffs who have sued him for sexual misconduct. He still has a pending criminal trial set for September 9th, in which he's charged with rape and other sex crimes against 2 women. He's pleaded not guilty, and according to the Los Angeles Times, he's currently free on $1 million bail and has GPS monitoring. That story continues to unfold, and it is hard to tell how many other stars may come forward with stories, right?
Shocking to hear Madonna come forward, but yeah, it's never ending.
Seemingly, right? Okay, you have more for us in Star Trek.
I do. We're kicking off Star Trek today with one newlywed who is reliving her wedding planning days. Watch this.
So I think we should scroll down this list and see who hasn't RSVP'd yet. Mr. A text is not going to do. You must RSVP.
Wow, Cheryl Burke may be basking in newlywed bliss with hubby Matthew Lawrence, but she still has her wedding RSVP list on her mind. In an Instagram video teasing her recurring IGTV segment, Wifey Wednesdays, Cheryl details the stressful experience of putting together a seating chart. And in the midst of planning, the Dancing with the Stars pro had a few words for those who were late to tell her whether they could make it or not. She jokingly tells one guest, "I was at your wedding, so you better be coming." She then tells another, "I haven't seen you in years, but TikTok." On her Instagram story, she shared photos of herself and her sister working through the seating arrangement, which she refers to as her, quote, personal hell. Arranging seats when people still haven't RSVP'd does sound pretty tough, but despite some seemingly stressful moments planning the wedding, Cheryl later revealed to People it was, quote, so cool to see my Pinterest wedding come true. She said, everything was perfect. My friends were telling me it was one of the favorite weddings they'd ever attended. There's some high praise there. Cheryl and Matthew were married on May 23rd at the Fairmont Grand Del Mar in San Diego, surrounded by 200 other friends and family. As for what the two are looking forward to next, it's to finally start their life together as a married couple. Watch this.
I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, the honeymoon especially, but then just getting back and
just
getting
being
back to
there
our
and,
normal life. Like, we haven't had a normal life in
I haven't
months
looked
and
at you.
months.
I haven't looked at you for months.
Yeah, we barely even see each other. No, it's true though. I barely see her now. It's like so stressful. So I'm excited for that just to be back to normal.
They're so cute. And from one wedding to another, ain't no party like a Vanderpump party. Several members of the Vanderpump Rules cast joined Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor for a joint bachelor-bachelorette party in Miami this week ahead of their nuptials later this month. Lala Kent, Stassi Schroeder, Sheena Shea, Ariana Madix, a few more joined the couple for the sunny getaway. And this looks like a blast. So during the day, the couple and their pals enjoyed time on the water. Multiple people were rocking sunnies with the weekend's hashtag on top. Jax got it right. Get it? Brittany's last name is Cartwright.
Oh, W-R.
Yeah, pretty clever. Other videos showed the girls enjoying their time at multiple clubs, having a few drinks, and Brittany holding tons of dollar bills as even more rained down on her. Always a good time. Looks like she's having a blast. For another activity, the women all dressed up like brides, complete with veils, posed for a big group photo. Very fun. Jax and Brittany got engaged in June of 2018 after a pretty rocky year. They're set to tie the knot at the Kentucky Castle in Versailles, Kentucky on June 29th. And if it's anything like their bachelor-bachelorette party, it's sure to be a good time. Well, country music's biggest stars shined on Wednesday night for the CMT Music Awards. Carrie Underwood made history, taking home 2 awards and bringing her total CMT wins to 20. That's more than any other artist in history. But is anyone really surprised? It's Carrie Underwood. She took home the trophy for Female Video of the Year for Love Wins and Video of the Year for Cry Pretty. On top of her success at the awards show, she was also celebrating her husband Mike Fisher's birthday on Wednesday. Talk about a very exciting day. But she wasn't the only big winner of the night. Dan and Shay were speechless at their win for Duo Video of the Year. They repeated history with this win. They took home the same award last year for Tequila. But Ashley McBride stole the show when she swiped Luke Combs' drink to accept her award for Breakthrough Video of the Year. The Girl Going Nowhere singer didn't want to give her speech without a drink in her hand, duh. So Combs let her borrow his blue solo cup. Very hilarious, and we love her. Another legendary moment came when Brandi Carlile and Tanya Tucker shared the stage with their fellow female artists to perform Tucker's song Delta Dawn. Martina McBride, Trisha Yearwood, Lauren Elena, Dina Carter, Ray Lynn, and Carly Pierce all joined the duo on stage to deliver an emotional performance of the 1972 hit. And I want to say, I wish I was there next year. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
That looked like a fun night. Stay with us, guys. We hear from Anderson Cooper, Neil Patrick Harris, and more as they step out at the Stonewall Inn to celebrate Entertainment Weekly's LGBTQ special edition. Plus, we are live with Carrie Preston. Her show Claws is back. She's going to tell us what's in store for season 3.
All right, so Cheryl Burke is getting real about the stress that comes with planning a wedding. So we asked you guys, what's the most stressful part of wedding planning in our People poll, according to you? So let's take a look at what you're saying. Staying within the budget. I guess that is very stressful.
Yeah, that's probably number 1. And then that guest list, that's still for me. That was the most stressful part.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to leave anyone out.
You know, it's like, well, if we include this person, then we have to include all these people. You know what I mean? Like everything just leads to another. It's this endless.
And then people that
and
thought
maybe
they
they're
were
not going
closer,
to come
I know.
anyway, and so
you have the inner circle. There's the next circle. There's a lot of layers. So how many circles do you go?
My advice:
me out right now.
do a small location like destination wedding, and then just do parties with your friends when you come back.
Just have a big bash.
Yeah. I wish I would have done that.
All right, we'll check on the results later in the show. For now, we move on to this. Entertainment Weekly is celebrating Pride Month with a special LGBTQ double issue. We cannot get enough of the special cover.
So check out these covers. Anderson Cooper, Wilson Cruz, Melissa Etheridge, Neil Patrick Harris, Janet Mock, Ruby Rose. They were chosen to grace all these covers. Very stylized. I think they look really cool, right?
They look fierce.
Yeah,
I love the
really
colors.
Great that EW is doing this issue. That's cool as well.
Yeah, EW also marked the 50th anniversary of Stonewall with a star-studded event at the Stonewall Inn in New York City on Wednesday night. The event honored the cover stars, most of whom were present at the party.
Yeah, there were also other members of the LGBTQ community present at the event. Pictures look like it was a fun time, very meaningful that EW was able to host this event at the Stonewall Inn. It's leading up to that 50th anniversary.
And EW talked to some of the cover stars on the red carpet about what it means to celebrate the anniversary. Writer, director, and activist Janet Mock explained why it was important to hold this event in these times.
We're existing in times that are completely challenging in terms of our political climate, so it's nice to have a burst of color, a burst of freshness, a burst of celebration that commemorates this amazing place.
Very meaningful for a lot of people. It seems like people had a great time at this event. Meanwhile, Neil Patrick Harris shared what an honor it was to be on the cover. Watch.
Yeah, it was very exciting to be asked to participate in something. I don't know. I'm not a big person to ride on, laurels and pomp and stuff. But I think any attention to the cause is really great, and it's flattering to see yourself on the cover of a magazine.
Yeah, the cause is great. So nice of him to show up. And Anderson Cooper talked about how the covers turned out really good despite some concerns.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I when I got the call, to be in the same company as Melissa Etheridge and Neil Patrick Harris and Wilson Cruz, Jenna Mock, all these people. It's a great honor, and yeah, the photos are cool. And, I basically have 2 poses, so I look dorky in anything.
He's self-deprecating.
He's not dorky.
Right?
He looks great.
For more Pride Month coverage, visit EW.com or pick up a print issue when it hits stands on Friday.
Lake Bell is the latest celeb to swing by couch surfing to take a look back at some of her most beloved performances.
Bell is an actress, director, and screenwriter, but one role that really stands out for her is when she shared the screen with Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep. Watch.
This was my first day of work. Really? Yes, and both of, Meryl and Steve are as if they're, high on marijuana and in the scene, and I'm supposed to be very high status. I could not hold it together, and Nancy Myers had to pull me aside and just be like, you need to figure it out. Because I felt so low status. I was like, sorry for being here. Like, I just was too excited. And then I sort of started to understand that I had a right to be there, but I think, Meryl Streep, I grew up absolutely idolizing her, so I just couldn't get it together.
I think most people would be a little nervous, right? Now, recently, Bella's been promoting her upcoming film, The Secret Life of Pets 2, in which she plays Chloe the Lazy Tabby Cat.
She's a mom of 2, and here she explains why the movie is perfect for kids.
It's very sweet. This is the thing, is when you have kids, you start to think about the media that they're going to ingest. You want to make sure that it has it's got good messaging, it's not too violent, And I actually think that sophisticated humor and wit is also another thing really good to expose to kids, because there is a sharpness. Instead of dumbing things down or watering it down, give them the benefit of enjoying a good joke.
You can watch Lake Bell dive into a bunch of her other roles when Couch Surfing drops on PeopleTV this Friday.
Harley, I had no idea you could cook soul food. What are you, like an octoroon?
Well, my family doesn't like to talk about it, but we've been passing for white for years.
Girl, shut up.
No, it's true. Patty LaBelle's cousin is my cousin. You should taste my sweet potato pie, and then you'd know for sure.
I'm just glad you're out of the nut house.
Well, I'm not really out. I'm still on crazy parole. Regular medication checks, weekly psychotherapy, group sessions on Sundays. Can you believe that?
But no more Lillian, right?
No, just me.
Don't let that sweet Southern accent fool you. Polly is a preppy con artist on TNT's Claws who's ready to embrace her criminality. Here to talk about Season 3's Emmy Award-winning actress, Carrie Preston. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having
sweet
me.
potato pie.
That's right.
Sounds amazing.
It is delicious.
You know what else is amazing? Those nails.
Yeah.
You're on Claws. We figured we may as well show them. Look at this.
Yeah.
All decked out. Explain the look here.
Well, we're promoting claws, so we have to wear the
claws.
So these have stars and moons on them.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Celestial.
Do you feel pressure to always have your nails done because you're on this show?
I do, and it's so sad when I'm walking around in the airport or something and I've just got, a basic nail on or something. I feel embarrassed that if I just have a polish.
Because the first thing people want to probably say
people are
is
like, show me your claws,
yeah.
show me your claws.
I'm hiding my hangnails right now.
I know, right?
Here.
Unpainted hangnails.
But these are made by Morgan Dixon, who is the head of our nail department.
Oh, cool.
We have a nail department on our show, which
Makes
is
sense.
not on any other show have I ever seen a nail department. equipment.
Also, the manicure is just like on set, just hanging out.
They are,
doing it.
yes, but these are custom-made press-ons because when you're doing the show, you have 2 or 3 scenes sometimes that you're shooting in one day, so you have to switch the nails out.
Yeah.
So you can't really do acrylics 3 times a day. That would take the
How
entire
often do you have
shoot day.
to stop shooting because a nail pops off? Does that happen a lot?
This is the thing that you hear all the time on our show, which you never hear on anything else. Nail down, and then someone will come running in and replace the nail.
So there's all this team standing by with replacement nails at all times.
They are.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So you play Polly
I play
on
Polly.
Claws. Mild-mannered, this ex-convict, but there's these eccentric qualities, this great characters that you seem to get and really dive into.
Yeah.
Do you have opportunity to kind of make it your own, improvise a bit, or do you stick pretty close to script?
I do feel very grateful in that they trust me with the role at this point, and they, let me come in and just kind of do what I want, like how I'm inspired to, try something new. My character, she is a con artist, but she also steals people's personalities. So I get to do all these different personas. So I get to play different characters within my one character. So
really
I'll
fun.
come in and I'll just say, hey, you guys, I'm gonna do, a Judge Judy impersonation today. And they'll go, okay.
So Judge Judy, is there another favorite persona?
I get to play this character that we call the Madam, and she's like a Martha Graham ballet instructor and stuff. So I just tap into any teacher that I had when I was at Juilliard and just run with that.
Who do you run these with? Are you at home like, oh, I've got an idea. How do you think?
No, I just, I do spend a lot of time like studying it and figuring it out, before I get there, but I usually surprise everybody on set with it, and I kind of like keep them on their toes.
That's a fun surprise.
Yeah, it's very fun.
We love this show. You've also been a part of a lot of iconic shows. You got True Blood, The Good Wife, where you won an Emmy.
Yeah.
Where do people recognize you from the most?
It's funny, whenever I'm out and about, I'll play a little like game where I will try to profile the person, I'll try to check, they say I love you on the show. I try to figure out which
like what do you love
are
about
they
me,
talking
right?
about,
Yeah.
But I say it's a toss-up now between True Blood and Claws.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then, of course, immediately when they're like, let me see your nails. You know
Oh,
which
yeah,
show
of
it is.
course. Of course.
You're directing an episode of Claws.
I did.
right?
I directed the 8th episode of the season.
So as a director, directing something you're also an actor on, that's got to be an interesting dynamic. How was that experience?
It is hard.
for you?
Yeah, it is difficult. I actually did not like the days where I had to be on camera and behind the camera at the same time. I like to either do one or the other. But of course, what was I going to do? Say no?
And then how did the castmates react to you?
Everybody was great. Everybody, I love the crew. We've known each other for 3 seasons now. Everybody wanted me to do well, and they really brought their A game for me.
That's cool.
You're also directing a play for Alabama's Shakespeare Fest. That's really cool.
Yes.
It's a full circle moment for you. So tell us why that is.
Well, 25 years ago, I met my husband at the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. We were doing a production of Hamlet, and now I'm going back there to do a production of a new play called Buzz, about Mary Ann Buzz Goodbody, who in the 1970s directed a production of Hamlet.
Wow.
At the RSC. So it's full circle, and I'm very happy.
So you do have that Shakespeare connection.
Yeah, it's Shakespeare adjacent, but it's a world premiere.
It's really interesting and gotta feel good to be at a place where you can use your platform to go back, do things like that, but then also shed light on other things you care about. It is Pride Month. You have championed the LGBTQ community for some time. You were at that EW party that
I was at the EW party.
So fun.
Yeah, we had a ball. It was so great.
Yeah.
And it's the 50th anniversary of what happened at Stonewall. So.
How has the community impacted you?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm part of the community. I make films that target the LGBTQ community and that are about that community, and so I just feel like these are important stories to tell. We've come a long way. We still have a long way to go, and I feel like as an ally, it's important to continue to tell those stories.
What was a highlight of the party or someone you met or a moment last night?
It was just, iconic just to be on the grounds of that place, which really did start the whole movement. So that was exciting. They had a fun photo booth, and then they had a fortune teller who was reading palms.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so that was like really fun.
Did you get your palm read?
I had my palm read, and then a little tarot thing.
What did they say?
Well, I know, exactly. Well, she was really spot on.
Was she?
Which was kind of freaky, yeah. But the most fun thing that she said was, you have a partner, you have someone that you're with. And I said yes, and she said, He's a very strong person. He's very supportive, and he's very, very intelligent. So when I went home and told my husband, Michael Emerson, when I told him that, he was like, yes, she nailed it.
This lady's
she
good.
got it.
Take it to the bank. When it comes to those films that you've done that target the LGBTQ community, what's the response been?
Always very, very positive and grateful. My production company, we like to say we make gay films you can take your mother to.
Okay.
So, you know,
That's a
things
great
that are,
tagline.
you know, things that are P-flag friendly, things that, you know, you can show your family and stuff. And I think people are grateful for that, you know, so that we can continue to tell stories that involve all sides of that community.
Yeah. All right, ready? We're gonna play a little game.
Okay.
With a twist. So your character, Polly, on Claus is a unique individual, to say the least. So we're going to play rapid-fire questions with you, but you have to answer as Polly would.
We want you to
Ready?
channel her. We
so
want you to
Carrie
do it.
is no longer here. Okay. All right. Ready to
Polly
play?
has arrived, everyone. I feel like we're in the tarot card reading again.
Yeah.
Okay, Polly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets?
I am definitely, I'm a 10. I'm really good at that. Everyone can trust me with secrets because I know how to tell secrets.
All right,
Wait
Polly.
a minute, what?
Polly, most rebellious thing you've ever done?
Oh, you know, I stole some identity and then I went to prison for it.
Polly, excuse me, share a date that went badly for you.
I go out on a lot of dates. And so one time I went out with Anderson Cooper on CNN and then I found out he was gay.
Didn't work out.
Yes.
Didn't work out.
Polly, what's a manicure faux pas?
Oh, you have to always use the nippers on the cuticles. Don't try to do it with scissors.
Oh, yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Polly, best piece of advice, just period, in life that you could give.
Become who you want to be.
Become who you want to be. Good advice.
Polly, describe yourself in 3 words.
Smart, smarter, and the smartest.
Polly, do you believe in fate?
I believe in fate, and in order to have fate, you have to have faith.
Yeah. If you had one superpower, what would it be, Polly?
I would like to be able to be invisible, because then I could go in and steal all of your things and you wouldn't even see me.
Adorable.
Polly, thank you. And Carrie, thank you as well.
Yeah.
I love how you just channel it right away. I now want to be in the room when you present the new characters to all your castmates.
Okay.
It comes out in the builds.
It might be you one day.
It might be.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. It's really good to talk to you guys. Check out season 3 of Claws starting Sunday, June 9th at 9 on TNT.
Charles Manson and the Manson family's reign of terror in the late 60s still haunt our nation today. And in this week's People magazine Investigates Cults on Investigation Discovery, we take a closer look at Manson's rise, his California desert commune, and one of the family's most infamous and most gruesome crimes.
A survivor of the Manson family even recalls the moment she learned of the group's involvement in the murder of Sharon Tate.
He shows me the newspaper and he slaps it and he said, "I did this. Charlie told me to."
Friday night in Los Angeles, a movie actress and 4 of her friends were murdered. The circumstances were lurid.
Soon after, Diane listens in horror as several of her Manson family sisters share their own involvement.
The girls told me their participation in the murder. I remember them all being giddy and gleeful about what they had done.
Catch the premiere of Manson Family Murders Monday, June 10th at 9/8 Central on Investigation Discovery.
I'm leaving the bed. Oh my God, he's gone. All right, just relax. Don't get crazy.
Did somebody fall?
Oh, I fell. I got her. She tripped and, in my opinion, just missed the table, but hit her foot. And we just want to make sure she didn't hit her head.
We can check her vitals. We'll be checking her vitals. Check her.
Okay, great. That's good. Okay, good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
These guys are hot.
I know they are hot. I know they happen to be hot.
Okay.
It's not
Can you
acceptable.
check her too?
It's not appropriate.
Not
No,
appropriate.
can you check?
We're about to discuss that moment and so much more from this week's edition of the Real Housewives of New York City Take Miami. Plus, we'll get into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as they prepare to head to Providence, and the Real Housewives of Potomac as they're in New Orleans. Everybody is somewhere else. It's almost a triple crown of Housewives vacation episode.
Yeah, here to dish on everything from the chic to the bleak within the Real Housewives world are People writer and reporter Jody Guglielmi and People TV producer Sam Belikoff.
Good to see you guys. All right, that clip we just saw, it was after Sonia fell on night 1 in Miami. It was quite the event. Bethany decided to call the paramedics just to be safe, or maybe it was a subtle dig. I don't know, making a bigger deal of it. Jody, what did you think watching this scene, the rest of everything that went down, that literally went down with Sonia?
I am very glad that she's okay. I agree with the call to bring the paramedics in. You can never be too safe, especially when alcohol is involved. But I mean, Sonia is true to herself. She's hilarious, even in chaos, and it was very, very entertaining to watch.
Look, if the guys are hot, you got to call it out like Sonia does.
Exactly.
Sam, what did you make of it all?
Yeah, it is always okay to be safe, but that being said, you probably are okay if you're joking about checking Bethany's vitals as well. If I have to hear one more time how Sonia learned to fall from horseback riding like a horse, that's,
It's a skill.
I'll probably enjoy it. I love how Tinsley and Ramona sidestepped the ambulance right here on their way out. I mean, they knew that Sonia was most likely okay and Bethany was taking care of her, but it's still funny. It's not stopping their night. It didn't stop Luann's night either. And I think we're going to maybe talk about that.
Yeah, we are. The next morning, Luann felt distanced from all the other ladies after they attacked her the previous night. She had a conversation with Ramona about it, so let's watch this.
You also don't realize I'm trying to stay sober and you're getting wasted. I can be around people that drink. I can't be around sloppy drunks. They don't want to see me do well, which is really disappointing.
Okay, that is so wrong.
They don't want to see me doing well.
That is completely wrong.
No.
Luann, we're all very proud how you turned your life around.
Really? So then
last
why
year.
did they treat me like they do last night?
I think because
Did you see what happened at the table, or are you blind?
Wow, so Sam, are you team Luann or team the other ladies here?
What a question. I am always Team Lou. I mean, I love all the housewives, but Luann is one of my favorites. But it's a hard team to be on sometimes. I think the other ladies, rightly so, are kind of in the right that she does feel on this high horse. I get that she felt attacked by everyone, but Lou, like, you're the common denominator here. There's a reason that they're all kind of coming for you. So, it's tough. I also think that she didn't really check on Sonia, and her story changed a few times, but in the episode originally, she said that Barbara told her the paramedics were there, but she was too upset with what Sonia told her. And even though her story changes, I think that's the truth. And I think that when your friend is upset and she didn't know she was okay because she didn't see it, so when you hear the paramedics are there, come out of your room and check on your friend.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
There's bigger things at play.
Jody, what do you think of Luann's reasons for not checking on Sonia the night before?
I think that a potential medical emergency trumps a bruised ego. So I thought that it was wrong of her to not go check. I thought that this was kind of a perfect example of what the women have been saying, which is that she's a little too focused on herself, and she was really focusing on her own hurt feelings when, put that aside for a minute.
Yeah.
Focus on your friend.
To me, it almost feels like this shows that they all knew it wasn't as serious as it was being made to be.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah. The ladies then go to Wynwood to look at art, except for Ramona, who leaves last minute. There were some unintended consequences. Sam, what did you think of how that all played out?
I mean, I love the unintended consequences being that you miss out on possibly $15,000 worth of gifts of private art because you wanted to get drinks for 2 hours, whether it was with, friends to de-stress, like she said, or whether it was with Sonia said, like guys. I don't think either one was worth the $15,000. I mean, Tinsley she still got it. She's still a socialite, and she gets her, Andy Warhol paint can as a purse for free. So Ramona missed out, and it was kind of funny to see her later in the episode know that she missed out and get upset about it.
Yeah, didn't know it was happening, but yeah, definitely a regret. No doubt about that. Night 2 in Miami took place at the house. The ladies, Ramona mainly, threw a party with many men, including Ramona's ex-husband, Mario, and a guy that she had been sort of dating. Jody, do you think this was a mature move, or was this an immature move on Ramona's part?
I'm kind of split down the middle on this because I think it's very mature that she's able to have such an amicable relationship with Mario, especially given the way their marriage ended. But it is a little immature to bring another guy in. But at the same time, the human in me is like, all right, Ramona, like, I see you. Yeah.
Right?
Like, again, she was hurt in the divorce, so I kind of get her being like, now look what you did, Mario.
You just feel that for the new guy.
Yeah,
be in that
that's awkward for him.
Right.
That's so
That's
awkward.
uncomfortable for him.
Yeah.
Sam, what did you think of the party?
I mean, that's what makes a great housewife, right, Jody? Like when they do something and you go, I'm split down the middle on whether or not it's good or bad. And complex humans too, and that's ultimately what they are. I think that part of it was funny. I also think, setting up all these men here, it was really interesting seeing the different women's dating styles. I think the best part was Tinsley kind of shying away, even though all she's been talking about, she's wanting to date, she gets set up by Bethany, and she shies away from the other men, and there's a moment where she says, I don't know how to be cute, and they cut. cut to Ramona sipping her straw, being cute, the classic Ramona flirting, and I just like cackled because it was like the shadiest editing I've seen in a while. A show full of shady editing, but that's a really positive thing. And then Luann, of course, you know, going after her man as usual. So that's what we want from Luann. It's fun to watch.
I feel like that's a party that I've had in the past, where like I invite some exes and like
Let's see them all mixed together.
Dangerous. All right, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There was a tough scene to watch with Lisa Rinna's family, where Harry Hamlin cooked barbecue for everybody, but Amelia, who's discussed her anorexia on the show before, didn't want to eat anything. Jody, what did you think of this scene?
This was a really hard scene to watch. I think we saw somebody who was clearly struggling and was scared, and sometimes I think that fear can turn into anger, and she took it out on her dad. You know, Amelia went on Instagram after the episode aired and apologized and said, listen, I was in the middle of it. Like, that's not who I want to be, and that's not who I am now. Luckily, she says she's 100% recovered. But I think that unless you've been through something like that, it is hard to understand and it's hard to watch. And it was especially hard to see Lisa Rinna say that part of herself blames herself for Amelia's anorexia.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, I can't even imagine that as a mom.
It's one of those moments where actual serious stuff makes
Right.
its way into
It's
the
like
show
very
and the
real
chaos of
life.
this. Yeah.
I'm just glad that she's in a better place now, because it is
Right.
really tough to watch.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Last week, Rinna told Dorit on the bus that Camille has been talking behind her back, but this week at lunch, she's playing coy about what it was that Camille said. Sam, what do you think?
Well, Rinna's whole thing is owning it, but here she's like renting it, you know? She's sort of like half doing it, half not. I think like it's sort of so childhood, elementary school, maybe middle school, to give her credit, to be like, blank said something about you, but then like, what is it? Like, I can't say, I can never,
right.
you know? And that's exactly what she's doing right here. I think as a side note, they filmed the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion yesterday, and Camille they thought wasn't going to attend, because as you see in this episode, a lot of the women have been ganging up on Camille, and that's what she felt. And people thought Camille wasn't going to attend, but she did, and apparently it was a very good reunion, even though LVP did not show up, which a lot of people, you know, the news kind of was breaking and rumored about that this week. But, you know, there's lots of things going on with the women, and even though they may not have talked to Camille about it now because of the fires, that sort of like tragedy struck, and they were like, we're not going to, you know, bring Camille, kick someone when they're down. I think it's going to still happen.
Yeah, so you mentioned the fires in Malibu. Both Camille and Denise's houses were affected. We see the ladies talking to them on the way to the airport. This was also hard to watch too. Sam, what's your thought on all of this and that scene?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really intense. I mean, being here in LA, I mean, luckily I didn't go through anything. I wasn't in danger. I don't live in the canyons. But, you know, even in Hollywood, there was ash falling a couple days later. Wow. You can see it from our offices here. Not to like name drop, but for work, I've been to Denise Richards' house, and, you know, it's on the water, which we see from the show. So the fact that her house was in danger, and it's not in the episode, but she had to move out for weeks due to smoke inhalation, it just shows you like the massive, massive scope of this fire and how devastated it was. So in the episode, they're talking, they're on the way to Provence. Clearly, Denise and Camille probably don't end up going because they're dealing with bigger things in their life. Camille's house ends up mostly being burnt down and damaged, and I think it's something we're going to see in the coming weeks, and it's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Jody, what did you make of the choice to include this in the episode?
I thought that it was important. It was something that was really happening, and it would be wrong to not include it because it was a big impact on the women and their friends and their family. So I thought it would have been noticed if it wasn't in there.
Let's talk about this. Earlier in the episode, go ahead, Sam.
Oh, I was just going to say, and it completely changed the narrative of things because, you know, Camille was going to go on the trip to Provence, and they all were going to, they said, like, they almost kept making jokes, like, we're going to get her in Provence. Not in a mean way, but kind of, like, we're all have issues with her, and we're going to bring it up, but then she wasn't there because more serious things took over. So
yeah, so it ended up playing
it kind of had to be in the show for that reason.
Changed the direction of things. Earlier in the episode, Brandi Glanville returns to the show in a dinner and drink session in Malibu with her new friend, Denise Richards. Watch this.
There was some story that they think Lisa Vanderpump planted in, I think it was Radar Online or one of those.
She does have a direct hotline to Radar Online, to be honest.
And I don't know her well enough to know if she leaked it or not.
Well, she did, for sure. And of course she's gonna like you because you're young and pretty and blonde, and she likes pretty things. She liked Dorit, she liked me. Lisa Vanderpump and I were best friends for 5 years. Let's be clear.
All right, so Jody, what did you think of Brandi's perspective to the whole Puppygate drama this season and in this scene particularly?
Listen, if there's somebody who knows Lisa Vanderpump for good or for bad, it's Brandi. She has been through it. They've been the best of friends. They've been enemies. I thought it was really telling when Brandi was like, listen, she has like a Radar Online reporter's number on speed dial. So I kind of loved it. I think that in some ways it was the insight we need. We almost need a third-party outsider to kind of step in and say, I've been through this.
Yeah.
Like, I know what's happening here.
Well, I was so happy to see Brandi. She's one of my favorite Bravo celebrities ever. I'm obsessed with her. Sam, what did you think of Brandi's return?
I mean, in this scene alone, like, I don't think she really knows that she's a direct line to Radar, but she says, no, she has. Like, that's what makes Brandi a great housewife, is she'll just say things off the cuff, and it kind of stirs up these other women. And the Beverly Hills ladies, and OC kind of too, in California, they don't like being stirred or shaken so much, and Brandi was this destabilizing factor. Brandi is one of the greatest housewives of all time. Bring back Brandi to this show. In a world where Lisa Vanderpump is mostly going to be gone, I mean, she didn't come to the reunion yesterday, Brandi can return, because that was the biggest reason why she wasn't there. You get Brandi back, you get Kim Richards back, who are best friends, and then you get the drama with Kim and Kyle. We got a season, baby. That's gonna be
Get this guy in the producer's room.
I would love to
I would
see Brandi
sign that
back.
petition to get them back.
Let's take a quick look at a portion of the preview for next week's episode. Watch.
The fact that you did it as Erica Jane was the part that made us all like,
No,
what?
that's the issue you're having. Let's own our all of us.
It doesn't make me like you any
I don't
less.
care whether you like me or not.
Sam, real quick, why does this part of the preview stand out to you?
Because I thought Bunnygate was a one and done, even 2 years later, but I should have never, thought something was one and done. I mean, the fact that they're getting upset at her for bringing this up in her Halloween costume is so wild, but so perfectly Housewives.
There you go.
It's going to continue. We're going to be hearing about Bunnygate in like 2048.
Well, should we move on to the Real Housewives of Potomac? They are still in New Orleans. Karen and Giselle continue their rocky relationship in this episode. From the argument at the cooking class that spilled over from last week up to when Karen says that she doesn't want to go out with the rest of the ladies at night because she's emotionally drained. Then Giselle catches her on Instagram Live.
Boy.
Hello, watch this.
South Africa loves you. I love South Africa.
Tell her we love her. Let me contact her.
How about I let that one go?
Okay, say hi, Karen. We're waiting for you downstairs.
Right?
Is she gonna respond?
No, you guys aren't.
Yes, we are.
That's here for some Karen.
I'm gonna say, really? So this is why she didn't want to go out with us, right? If you were gonna come out with us, just say you wanted to go on Instagram and talk to strangers, as opposed to saying, I'm grieving. This is how you grieve?
Drama. Sam, do you think someone is in the right here between Giselle and Karen?
Yeah, I do. I think that I normally like to side, well, no, I'm not gonna say who I normally like to side with, but I think that Karen is in the right here. She had a tough day emotionally. I mean, went to the plantation, it was really tough. And then of course, both of her parents, including her father most recently, died a couple months ago. So things in grief go in waves, but that doesn't mean you can't go on Instagram Live. Are you supposed to sit in a veil in a dark room and do nothing? Just, she's not excited enough to go out for, 4 hours and party. Doesn't mean she can't lay in bed and be on Instagram. I mean,
okay, I guess that
that's
makes sense.
Truly crazy. So Giselle needs to step off, but it's very funny to be commenting on her Insta Live. And being happy.
After a lot of dancing and a lot of drinking, the ladies returned to the hotel where an argument broke out between Candace and Ashley over how much Ashley is drinking. So watch this.
If I wanted to have a baby, I wouldn't be drinking at all. And every time that I've been with you, you are drinking.
You passed the judgment.
Maybe it is
But I don't do that to you. Who made you the judge, the jury? I don't know who made you the person to mandate that for me. This really is my journey, Candace.
You don't?
No, I do not.
You don't?
No, I do not.
Ashley, you always have something to say in general about everybody. It's you generally
So
pass judgment
you're the
on
mouthpiece
group.
for everybody in the whole group now? Instead of us talking, instead of you representing yourself?
My mouth speaks on whatever it speaks on.
How about it speaks for itself?
My
How
mouth
about your mouth speaks for
whatever
itself?
Whatever it speaks on, it speaks on.
And so whatever
But
you
my-
feel
what
like
happens
you
is
want to
my
talk
eyes.
about.
My eyes see.
Okay, how about your
What
eyes
my eyes
see for
my eyes see the
themselves?
Wow, this is hilarious. Sam, really quick, what about this one? Who is more in the right here, Candace or Ashley?
I'm going to be petty Patty, and my mouth is going to speak on what it's going to speak on, and I'm going to give a hot take, and I'm going to say Candace. I mean, obviously you shouldn't comment on anyone's journey, but she's coming from a place where Ashley specifically said, I can't drink to get pregnant, so she's just saying that you're not doing what you said, and Ashley's getting a taste of her own medicine because she really is in every single person's business, and I think Candace is just fed up about it, and she's saying, you know, if you're going to be in all of our business, we're going to be in yours.
Can
so
we just?
I'm on Team Candace in this one.
Can we all do work in? My mouth's going to speak on when it speaks onto it.
Yes,
Normal life.
absolutely.
Sam, Jody, thank you for being here. We're out of time, guys. Appreciate your time. Make sure to follow along with us and watch The Real Housewives of Potomac Sundays at 8 on Beverly Hills, Tuesdays at 9, New York City Wednesdays at 9. It is all on Bravo. Next week, all 3 cities will have the ladies fully on vacation, so there's going to be a lot of exciting moments to come.
Yes. All right, we're taking one last look at our people poll. We've been asking what part of wedding planning is the most stressful. Looks like you guys are saying staying within the budget.
Gotta spend that money.
I know. We'll be looking at another question of the day tomorrow, so tune in for that.
Also, coming up tomorrow, we're getting wild. We have some animals joining us live. There's going to be a sloth, a leopard, and a few others here from the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium.
I can't believe there's going to be a sloth. I'm so excited. Plus, mother-daughter duo, Dawn and Cher, dish on their new TLC series, Smothered. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Natalie Halcrow and Olivia Pearson, better known on social media as Nat and Liv. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Natalie Halcrow. And I'm Olivia Pearson. And this is One Last Thing. Our last guilty pleasure. Okay. I think The Bachelorette is a guilty pleasure of ours. Is it? Yeah, I mean...
I don't owe you anything at this point. Do you not understand that?
Is it not guilty? That's guilty. I think it's guilty. The last song we had stuck in our heads.
Okay, that's definitely the cowboy song.
Oh yeah, Old Town Road. Yeah. Yes.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. The last show we binge watched is Game of Thrones. Sorry, we have to sing everything.